All right, this is Stephen K. Kent here again with you guys. I'm here today at Fox 4 paintball, Saturday in August. Here with Greg Hastings. He came out for the Ninja Camp and the Red versus Blue game we had today. Greg, how you doing today?
I am awesome. I got blasted by a whole bunch of kids who cheered when they killed me.
Yeah, but everything I gathered from you today real quick is just you're really about the players and showing the players how it's done and running with the players and just having a good time.
Well, my days for fun are over, although I still want to have fun. It's more important that all the players who came here and spent their hard-earned money, and there's a lot of stuff to do out in the world. They took time to come out on a rainy day to play some paintball. So that's proof. I'd like to think that they came out to see me, but I think more importantly, they came out to play a sport that's funner than any other sport I can think of. You know what I mean? They got muddy, crazy, loads of moms dropping their kids off.
Oh yeah.
It was cool.
Get away from parents, shoot at people, dive in the mud. It's like every kid's dream, right?
Epic. It's epic.
So, real quick, Greg, why don't you tell me a little bit, and everybody else who doesn't know, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, kind of your beginnings and why you're playing paintball, like how you got started.
I live in New Jersey all my life. I'm never leaving there. I'll travel everywhere in the world, but I'm always going to go back to South Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. So a buddy of mine, Louie, went up to Connecticut to play paintball, and he was already in the Navy on a submarine as a sonarman. And he's like, "Hey, come on up, check it out, I'll give you a tour of the sub." And I did that. I toured a submarine. I realized I wanted to be on a submarine, all that good stuff. And we went and played something that we call paintball today, but they didn't call it then. I don't even know what they called it back then. Splatter or something. It was weird, but it was paintball. Mm-hmm. Played with the Pistols, the Splatmasters, and I used to be a pro break dancer. So I was looking for the adrenaline replacement for that. And when I played paintball for the first time, it piqued my adrenaline. I was like drugs, and I was hooked that day. Joined the Navy, traveled to San Diego for one of my first round of schools, and befriended a dude named Jim Snodgrass. And he was from Montana, and he had all his own equipment. And that was the day that I knew that I was going to play that sport. We went to a pro shop, and I bought everything I needed. And I still own all those pieces of gear that I bought in 1988.
Wow.
I still own the gun, I still own the goggles. I probably still own some of the soft goods, but back then you had to make a lot of your own stuff. But I still got the gun, still have all that.
Wow, I wish I could, actually, I still own my stuff, but I didn't start too long ago, but that's impressive. Since 88.
Vintage
stuff.
That's
got a special place in the wall, don't it?
It's not on the wall yet. It's still in a box. We'll figure out where it's going to go. Figure out where it's going to go.
So, real quickly, how have you gotten from the start in paintball, getting out of the Navy, to where you are now? I know you're doing some video game design stuff. You did that. How did you get from there to now?
Well, I like the sport enough to take it seriously to where I was always trying to up my skills. And simply, I just got good. And I joined a team the day after I got out of the Navy. But before I got out of the Navy, I thought I was pretty good in the woods. We used pump guns, and I played a lot. I played every Saturday and Sunday. We'd buy a case of paint, and we'd use that case for 2 days. We'd play 2 days, every weekend, for a year and a half when I was in the Navy. Joined a team, practiced every weekend, started to travel around with those guys, and just kept one-upping it. Just kept, I liked it enough to always focus on being an athlete in the sport. And the one thing that, and everybody could do that, but I found myself in a position where I needed to take a financial path that allowed me the time and the finances to go as a chump amateur and travel and get better and do my time, right? So that's the key. So the key was, when I got out of the Navy, I was a private detective, and I was able to pick my own cases, and I made great money, and it allowed me to travel with my team and make great money at the same time. I didn't work weekends. Everybody else did. So boom. So I had a full paintball career, and I had a full paying job, and none of them ever mixed. And that was the blessing right there.
Wow.
And then I took it to the next level, is when I invented the Reds Comfort Pack, and I made that new pack. That's when I got into the sport of making products, and I was able to leave the private detective and go into the actual sport. And
I can't imagine a better
stuff.
branch off. to be able to make a product as a player, to make a product for the players, so that it's just better. It's just a win. To me, that's just a win-win.
Yeah, yeah. Well, back in the day, a lot of people, if you talk to guys my age, back in the day, everybody made their own shit. You couldn't go to the store to buy something. There was very little to buy. Most of the things were made. You made them in your own house. You could buy whatever you bought at a store. Some dude made it. He invented it a week ago. Everything. Ask anybody who's been playing as long as me or a little bit less. They have made stuff. And I made this just out of necessity. The pack systems were uncomfortable. They used that really uncomfortable strapping system. So I simply took a weight belt that you'd see on a common hardware store,
like the
fat
lifting
guy,
belt,
right?
yeah.
So I found a way to mate that to a standard pack system, and that invention totally threw me over the top, put me on the map.
And as far as I know, and I've been told,
Established
from
me
what
as
I
a
can
brand.
see,
That's what established
that
me
too,
as a brand.
and everything I've seen and done and heard about it from that, and me playing as a player, is that pretty much every pack since then has been designed off that principle.
I'm taking credit, dude.
I would. Credit where credit is due.
I don't ask for credit, but most of the guys who have been around a long time, they remind people that that's my invention. So.
Well, it's good. It's good to know there's some respect out there for the things you've done. Now, jumping to now. Recently, you came out with two huge things, and one, as I understand it, kind of partnered with the other. You came out, decided you want to make a paintball video game that wasn't just a video game, that was really built like we play.
Right.
So that when paintball players could step into it and be like, wow, this is actually kind of like I play, because now I want to buy it, because it's like how I play. And people who hadn't played paintball are like, oh, so this is what paintball's like. And that also, my understanding is that it kind of partnered with the design and release of the R7 camera, so that game designers could actually see what it was like to play.
Yeah. Well, the gaming part first started. I'm a gamer. I've been playing video games. I'm a junkie. In fact, if you want to extend this interview, I'll teach you how to break into every coin-op machine there is. I used to break into those. Sorry, Mom. I'm not proud of that. But I was such a junkie with those, and getting out of the Navy and doing real video games, it just, when the day that I thought about the video game idea is when I put my business hat on, and I wanted to grow the sport more. And I knew I had already been in selling products, I'm in playing professionally, I'm doing all that good stuff. I'm trying to figure out now, how do we go to the next level? What's the next big thing? And I play games all the time. And no one was doing anything about paintball, so it was wide open. And I was surprised I was the only guy to think of it. Nobody came up with a paintball game. Nobody.
All I remember is playing like a little paintball something on my color Game Boy. That's all I can remember. There was like a little paintball game where you just spun around and splatted people.
That doesn't count.
That was nothing.
That does not count. Well, so the first thing is I wanted it to be taken seriously. I wanted the sport to be taken seriously. And my name wasn't really going to be on it. That was not my intention to have my own video game. I wanted to do a paintball video game, and some of my lead investors demanded that my name be on it. In fact, that's kind of how that happened, how I got my name on the game.
Your name's going to be on the game? Okay.
Well, I mean, it felt good. It kind of like shocked me, and I'm like, it is my idea, and I am helping make it, and I am doing all this stuff. So it wasn't like, somebody paid me or it was my reward to be on it. It's my product. I'm actually making that product. So I felt proud to put my name on it. And I'll still do it.
There you go.